I have the fabulous psychologist, philosopher, and, of course, rock star Carlos Camacho here. Hi, Carlos.
G'day.
I'm glad you could make it. So good of you.
I know, being all those things, I don't have much time.
I know you don't. Of course you don't. You've got to practice and everything.
That's right. Lucky my rock and roll life is more at night time, but I make some time during the day for radio.
How do you sleep? When do you get time?
Oh, look, maybe later on. Isn't there a song about that? Like, sleep later on.
Yeah, sleep when you die or something.
Sleep when you're dead or whatever.
Something like that.
Who knows?
We're getting on a lighter, more fun topic this time, aren't we? We're going to talk a bit about astrology.
Yeah, it's one of those fun things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like, people at some time in their lives look at the horoscopes, don't they?
I think most people do. Look, there's probably no one more sceptical than me.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. With regards to many things. And the horoscope is one of those things. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's more fun than anything.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true. I grew up with it in my household because my father wrote the horoscope for a Spanish newspaper.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he used to do tarot cards and all these types of things. So he was right into that. Mm-hmm. And I remember growing up, when I was 15, he actually read my cards. And I was already a little skeptic then. I'm thinking, okay, let's do this, But later on, I realized there's more to it than just being true. It's also important to go into these sort of things with a bit of faith, I think.
Yes, it is.
So we have to separate that.
Yes, because it can be a guide, like, to people's character and personality. You kind of, some people have things in common when they're the same star signs, like you and I. We're both Aries. We're born a couple of days apart.
I know.
Aren't we? Got the same we've got a good connection there.
Yeah.
I feel like you're my little brother, although I do look up to you, literally. You're so much taller than me.
Yeah, well, us Aries, you know what we're like. We're not the first sign for nothing.
Yeah. We're the babies of the zodiac.
Yeah, and
the lambs.
We get along, and I think one of the things that distinguishes us is our humility. We're so humble.
We are, aren't we? Especially me.
No, it's a lot of.
We are really.
I know a few Aries. It's one of those things, I don't know what it is. Maybe there is, and we're going to go into that, of course. What influenced the planets and the celestial planets and everything around us has on our personality.
Yeah, and it's a bit mathematical as well, isn't it?
It is. It started off actually during the Mesopotamian years, like before ancient Greece even. People started looking up at the stars, and of course they weren't well aware of the whole cosmos and how it was built, and most even up to the time of Aristotle even thought that the sun revolved around the earth. So it was a different type of sky that they was looking literally, even though it was the same to see, what they thought of it was quite different. So they felt that these things out there had to have some influence in us because we are, in a way, the centre of it all. And as science grew, obviously that was disproven that we're not the centre of the universe. Yet astrology still remained very strong in our lives in the Western world and also in the Eastern world.
I think it always will, won't it?
I think so, because the humans, we're searching.
For meaning.
Yeah, and guidance. Sometimes we go away from the earth. There's more out there, and there has to be something bigger and better. And it's that search for that guide that we have, that it can't just be that.
We're not here by chance.
That's right.
Yeah.
There has to be, and that's one of the biggest philosophical discussions of all time, whether we're determined, whether there is fate, that our life is already predetermined, or we have free will.
Yes.
And so
bit of both.
Yeah. With the horoscope, obviously there's it's focused on being determined, and so because this is going to happen to you, but free will is a wonderful thing to think about too, because or else why would you do anything?
That's right. And choices you make, and you can think back, if I didn't choose that path, I would have had a completely different path.
That's right.
But you can't do anything about it because that was your free will to choose that first path in the first place. It's so interesting, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And with astrology, people that study these things, and like you said, there's a lot of science and mathematics in it, and it also helped with understanding astronomy, because it started with astrology, then we had astronomy, just like we have the alchemists, and then we had the chemists, and just so you have religion and you have philosophy. So all these things came first, and so they set the scene and the basis for everything else we know today.
But more thought. And for more thought on the subject.
That's right. And so rather than for example, an astronomer just looking at the stars and looking to see how it developed and what things are, the astrologer looks at it, how it affects us. And so it's still, for me, even I consider myself a behavioural scientist, I still find it very interesting because people are interested in it. And it doesn't matter whether it's true for one person or not. Well, what we should realise is that as humans, we want to go away only from the things that we can see and touch, because life is more than just that. There's things that we feel, things that we believe, things that we want them to be true. So, and what a great opening line when you meet someone.
Yeah.
You know, hey, are you a Sagittarius?
I pick up your vibes.
Yeah.
And I like to pick you up too.
That's right, yeah. So it's wonderful, and you're right. I find lots of similar attributes to people from certain signs.
Like Mick Jagger, it's his birthday today, and he's a Leo, and they love being on stage and performing, don't they?
They sure do. Leos, I have a few Leos I know in my family. Actually, my father's a Leo.
My mum is too.
Yeah. They like being the centre of attention.
They love lots of love and attention.
They're great leaders.
Yeah.
Some of the great leaders in the history of military have been Leos. Isn't that incredible?
That is.
Yeah, they're very good leaders. They know how to get people on board.
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
That's right. Yeah. So there must be something. There can't be all coincidence.
Yeah.
Of course, the horoscope, as we know it, was written before we knew, people knew totally how the solar system was compiled of. So they could only see what they could see. Then with telescopes, of course, we realised there were other planets and so forth. But it's there, as we know, whether you believe in creationism or you believe in the Big Bang, it doesn't matter. It's the whole universe, and we are made out of energy.
That's right.
And that's scientific.
Yeah.
You know, everything's made out of energy. It starts with energy, ends with energy. So whether energy can be in one way looked at and studied to see whether it influences us today, I think that's a very good point.
I think it is too, Carlos, and we'll talk more about it next time. What do you think? Going in maybe to each star sign and
today was a bit of an introduction.
Yeah.
It's interesting because
times are running.
Yeah, times are running, and it's I think it's a wonderful subject because it's light and it's fun.